Resident Evil 4 is widely regarded as the best game in the franchise and one of the best survival horror games of all time. With its intense storyline, iconic characters, and terrifying enemies, Resident Evil 4 delivered up an unforgettable gaming experience that barely paused to take its foot off the gas. Now in March 2023, over 18 years since the release of the original game, a full HD remake of Resident Evil 4 will be released. That's right, Leon S. Kennedy, Ashley Graham, Ada Wong, and all your other favorite characters are back. So with the official release of the remake just around the corner, there's a couple of things you'll want to know about the game before you buy it and start playing. And with that, here's 5 things you need to know about the Resident Evil 4 remake. Number 1. An all-new Ashley. If you played the original Resident Evil 4, you'll notice that Ashley was a little oddly dressed. For some reason she has 2 sweaters, one of which looks like it was given to her by her grandma at Christmas. She's also rocking these boots that look like they were worn by musketeers. And let's not forget about those ears. In light of all this, the devs at Capcom decided to make a few adjustments. In the remake, Ashley sports a jacket as well as some stockings to keep her warm in the game's cold European climate. She also has a new hairdo that hides her ears completely. Overall, Ashley is more suitably dressed and appears less juvenile than she did in the original game. But it isn't just Ashley's appearance that's been overhauled. Protecting her shouldn't be nearly as frustrating in the remake, as you won't have to micromanage her quite so closely. This time around, you can either have Ashley stick close to you or hang back a bit so you can deal with any immediate threats. In addition, if Ashley is injured, she'll simply become incapacitated. You'll then need to interact with her in order to revive her. To summarize, working with Ashley should feel more intuitive and organic in the remake. This means you can focus more on the game and get more enjoyment out of it. Number 2. New combat options. Leon S. Kennedy is a highly skilled special agent, and while he was definitely impressive in the original, he's even more so in the remake. For starters, you'll now be able to parry attacks using your knife. This effectively means that the knife will be an indispensable part of your arsenal, and if you manage to become adept with it, you'll be nigh indestructible. In addition to the enhanced knife combat, Leon will be able to use stealth to distract enemies or sneak up on them from behind and take them down using the knife. This basically gives you some new options when fighting bad guys and adds a whole new dynamic to the game. The remake will also feature some new weapons, one of which is the bolt thrower, which is essentially a crossbow that fires bolts with explosive mines attached to them. As a bonus, the bolt thrower fires projectiles silently, so it also serves as a kind of stealth weapon. Lastly, the remake will also feature some brutal finishing moves, so you'll be able to viciously end the lives of any enemies that are incapacitated and lying on the ground. All in all, I have a strong feeling that the revamped combat and new dynamics in the remake will resonate well with fans. Number 3. The remake features some reimagined boss fights. Certain encounters with bosses will be decidedly different in the remake. I don't know if this necessarily means that every boss fight will be improved per se, but they will be, well, different. The remake won't feature any cutscene based quick-time events, so this time around when Leon faces off against his old partner Jack Krauser, the entire knife fight will now be fully playable. Also, according to a recent review of the remake by Jessica Condit of Engadget, the fight with the mutant priest Mendez is pretty frustrating. By her estimation, while Mendez has been fully overhauled, Leon hasn't. Hopefully gamers won't find this fight as troublesome as Condit, but at any rate, I guess we'll find out soon enough. In case you did play the original RE4 back in the day, just be prepared for some changes when it comes to bosses. Number 4. There are optional side quests in the remake. If you want to take a break from Resident Evil 4's main storyline, then you can take on optional side quests in order to earn rewards and purchase additional items. Throughout the map you'll find blue pieces of paper with the words Petición Oficial on them. That's Espanol for official request. It's pretty simple really, you fulfill the request or do the action on the piece of paper and you receive a reward in return for your troubles. As you can imagine, side quests consist of things like finding certain objects, killing a certain type of enemy or enemies, solving puzzles, and so on. In most cases, I assume that the rewards you earn can be sold to the merchant in exchange for some cash, but it's entirely possible that certain types of quests will yield certain types of rewards, so don't quote me on this. My hope is that side quests will be engaging and original enough to keep players entertained and not just something that's there to extend game time. Either way, whether you're interested or not, side quests will be available to play in the remake. And last but not least, number 5, Mercenaries Mode will be returning in the remake. Okay, so Mercenaries won't be available immediately upon the remake's release, but it should be arriving soon as a DLC. This shouldn't really matter though, as you'll probably need to complete the single player campaign before you'll be allowed to play Mercenaries. The good news is that you'll soon be able to team up with friends online and slay hordes of zombies in as little time as possible. It's yet to be confirmed which characters will be available to choose from when Mercenaries releases, but the original Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries had Leon S. Kennedy, Ada Wong, Hunk, Jack Krauser, and Albert Wesker, so it's entirely possible that all of these characters, as well as some new ones, will be appearing in the remake's Mercenaries. Personally, I think it would be cool to see Ethan Winters, Lady Dimitrescu, and Chris Redfield, but maybe that's just me. Regardless of which characters do make the cut, you can rest assured that Mercenaries will indeed be back in the remake. The Resident Evil 4 Remake will release on March 24th, 2023 and will be available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. And there you have it. That's 5 things you need to know about the Resident Evil 4 Remake before you start playing. So what do you think about the RE4 Remake? Are you excited to play it? And are there any other details you think people should be aware of before they start playing? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Please be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so I can keep bringing you hot gaming content on a regular basis. That's all for today. From me and the Mercenaries here at Metasquad, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Later!